Welcome to Perspectives Podcast. On this episode of the show, we have a very special guest. He's a very talented guest at that. He's the one and only DavienTheArtist. Davien, introduce yourself to the people, G.
As you hear, I'm DavienTheArtist. I'm a multi-learned visual artist. I do paintings, graphic design, logos, mixed media, all kinds of stuff. Anything you desire.
So, me know Davien as a painter. Tell the people how you got started into painting.
I get into painting. I did a few paintings when I was young, like about 8 years old. But in between that, I started off with digital art, and that was when I was about 12. And after doing the digital art for quite some time, when I get into sixth form, that's when it's the first time actually doing art class now. So I'm doing something with a structure.
Yeah.
So now we had assignments also to do paintings, and I haven't done painting for however much years because I was 8 years old. Check. So when I get back into the painting now, I had to relearn all the things I already knew through the digital, but now it's in a traditional format. So now I had to relearn basically how to paint and how to draw and how to create, artwork.
You say you do a painting when you're 8, or you get the equipment, or you get the tools to do a painting when you're 8?
When I was 8, my father carried me to a Easter camp.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the people then, but they were doing I think it was like for a week, and they did a workshop for people who were interested in doing artwork, and I was not. So basically they get me started off with the basics, like little shadows and shading, and they provided paint and canvas and so forth. And the first painting I did was of a sugar mill. So we actually sit in front of that and paint that. Yeah. So I got a painting at home. I got to,
Yeah. So that come out good.
Well, for 8 year old, sure. For 8 year old, yeah. But
so you mentioned visual arts. So how did you get into visual arts? What was your first experience with visual arts?
Growing up, when I was real young, my brother was drawing all the time too. So I wasn't really a stranger to the drawing thing, So, I always had interest in it, but seeing that I was so young, I didn't have the experience, I wouldn't say talent, but I didn't have the drive yet for that. So the environment was always there for me. So when I start to actually pick up a pencil and start scribble and draw things, and so is when I realized, okay, this is something I really want to do.
So then you do digital art also. You got into digital art at a young age.
Yeah.
It come when you was older.
When I was 12, so 10 years ago, I get into that.
You get into that?
Before my birthday, I tell my mother that I want an iPad. So when I finally get that, I get it for my birthday. I had to work for that. And I get a drawing app on that, and from that it was just, it's like love at first sight. It's like
so you fall in love with the craft.
Yeah, so it's like a completely new environment for me with the digital landscape. So I started to create all kind of things I didn't even imagine I could have created. 10 years down the line, way further than I expected to be.
Yeah. So you start around 8, and at 10 you get this iPad, and you start draw on it and whatever. So then at what age you started to take this serious? Because as a youngster, you feel like you have the talent and whatever, but at what age you really take this serious and you feel like this is something where you can do as something serious? Because I would imagine back then you do this as a little hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, at first, it did start off as a hobby, and I was just like enjoying myself just for the fun of it. But when I reached about 14, 15, that's when I really look at this and say, okay, I could make some money out of this. I could turn this into something like serious,
So 14, 15 is when I get your first paid commission?
The first paid commission was when I was 16. 16 is when I really, because back then before that I was shy to say I want, like, I would accept commissions, because I had this critical thinking of myself, is that like, yo, I want to take your money and the product not good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really hold back, and then when I was 16 I said, okay, maybe let me try a thing, let me see how this go. And I do a portrait for somebody and they liked it, and from that I keep it up.
Yeah. So you mentioned being critical of self. You as an artist, you criticize your work hard, like you mark your work hard, like you never feel like it's good enough.
Every piece I make, critical of it. I wouldn't say is a criticism where it's like destroying myself. I'm just thinking of a way how I could improve.
So you would say you're constantly trying to get better.
Yeah, each time.
Well, that's commendable, isn't it? Because complacency can keep you at one spot where I feel like no artist not supposed to do, isn't it? And musician always a try to better themselves, isn't it? And you as a painter, it commendable to see a young man doing painting and even upon the level here, isn't it? So you're there upon the podcast and we have a beautiful painting here, son, isn't it? Something we more than say is a masterpiece in its own self, is it? So this masterpiece where you have yourself, tell me something about it and tell the people something about it. What's the inspiration behind this?
So basically this painting is the start of a collection. I call it Lost in the Blue.
Yeah.
Referring to basically all the this kind of painting would go more down into the darker side of things, maybe like the more melancholic or sad vibes of my personality. And I use the color blue because people usually use black, blue, or purples to kind of represent, kind of darker tone and set the emotion for the painting, So this, I wouldn't describe myself as a sad person, but everybody got emotions and everybody feels something, So rather than expressing it through words, I use my pen to express this.
So yeah, well, you can see this have a dark undertone to it, isn't me? And look at the vibe where I try to bring with it, same way as it. So what this represent, this area of the painting, what does that represent?
So this circle right here around the painting, this represents a crown, but I simplified it in my way, my style, and I use that crown to basically represent myself as a king in my image, in my world.
You feel like you're a king? Yeah, man, a real talk, youth, cause every black man a king, I said that, isn't me? So this collection, will this collection be always have a dark undertone to it?
For this specific collection, yeah.
So
I'm thinking of it to have like it wouldn't just be sad and like hopeless in a way. It also represents self-realization as well. Seeing who I am and seeing what I could become.
So you feel like now that you launch your thing on a serious level and you do this as a business, you feel like you're finding yourself in your paintings.
I feel like in the process of that right now.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. And that's commendable if you see young people do that, isn't it? And it's when I start the platform here, I say to myself, say, I want to show the world at large, say, St. Kitts Nevis, and Nevis, more specifically Nevis, have some talented people, you see me? And you is a prime example of that, because a painting like this, you can see all kind of detail in it, you see me? And you can get the vibe where you are trying to bring towards it, you see me? So you mentioned going to sixth form and doing art. Is the sixth form level the highest level of education you do in terms of art?
Yeah, and also the only level of education, because during high school they never offered that. That wasn't offered in high school. So most of the way through, it was just me practicing and experimenting with different tools and different media and what's not, to kind of see where I want to go with this journey,
So you watch whole heap of YouTube video and thing?
I started to watch YouTube videos like later on, but in the beginning, most of the time it was just out on the head.
So is it that when you do your paintings in, you have to look on something to come up with
Not
them?
necessarily. You see, a part of my process would be using reference. I use a lot of reference to check. So I wouldn't just look at something on like one thing and use that as my only reference.
So you draw inspiration from
A lot
different
of
things.
things. A lot of things.
So
Yeah.
So this inspired by a moment that you were going through.
Yeah.
Something where that got through.
Yeah.
You mind sharing that to the audience?
You see, I wouldn't refer to it as like a specific moment.
Yeah.
I feel like I could use this as like a feeling, you know.
Yeah, it's like
So
emotional.
Emotional feeling where it's like sometimes you feel down low.
Yeah.
And like you don't feel at your best, but it's still, even with this, I still put on my hoodie and hold it out,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool, and it's full of detail. And
Keep the eye on it,
and
stay
you
focused.
see the thing is you bring your painting comes in, but not pick up, but you bring the painting in, and you have an explanation to your painting. Down to the smallest detail in your painting, you have an explanation too. So it's like me just see as the artist, and me see this, you put out this painting already. But it's like me never take notice of it, like on that deep level there. You see me? So you do a lot of social media work, like in terms of putting out your product to the world.
Yeah, I do, but I don't think I'm at the level I want to be right now. But you see, I wouldn't say I ain't focused on that at all, but I still focusing on the quality of my pieces.
Also, for now, you're working on the product itself.
Yeah, the product
and getting
itself.
the product at the best level.
Yeah, the best level I want it to be.
Right. So then you think you ever thought of doing, like, in terms of you do this painting and you do a voiceover with it, and you're basically explaining what the painting about, or where your mentals were doing this painting.
All these things come to me already, but I guess the level of confidence, how to find it, like I feel like my online personality, maybe I need to work on that. Maybe me not find it yet, because I could talk to you as comfortable here, but I feel like pointing a camera at me and start watching camera is like I start to get shy and nervous that way,
Oh. So while my camera on, when you put on yours, you're not as confident.
I don't feel so.
Well, you see, a whole heap of people struggle with things like that, and it's like, even me, because when I start this at first, isn't me, the first episode of me put out, like, people will know discomfort, like people who can analyze people behavior and so, then can see me not as comfortable as me even is now. Is me with the shaking of the legs, and some at certain points in the video, like me uncomfortable, and that wasn't even the first, like the second take. You see me? So at the end of the day, dog, you have to just take that leap there. You see me? You have to just take that leap of faith there and just go out there and do it. Like, it never gonna be perfect. You see me? Because perspectives me, they're not perfect. You see me? And it not depend on the level where me would have want it. You see me? Because you have small things where me would have like to tweak and to get better. You see me? So at the end of the day, if me feel like only you can stop you, basically. You see me? So what you have to do is just, however you can do it, once it's on an acceptable level for you, put it out. You see me? Once it's acceptable, and once you start it, you're not going to stop. Is what I'm saying. So moving on now, I could talk about Corona. How did Corona affect you as an artist? You see me? Like, how it affect you?
Corona, most people, it affect them bad. I think everybody get the same experience. Money start going down, But for me, the quarantine, the time I get to myself, kind of boost my creativity even more. Because now, me not really get so much distractions or go out and party and do this and that every other weekend. And so now me home straight, and now it's like I got to refocus and rethink how I'm gonna do things. And then during the quarantine, I really start to, like, DavienTheArtist as a brand really push forward, because that's when I really say, okay, I know I was gonna take this serious, but right now is the time I'm gonna actually push things and push some blocks to get this thing to the level it's at right now. So during that time, I was creating a lot of artwork. I was sketching a lot, doing videos, editing logos. I rebranded myself during that time and everything. So during that time that I feel like, growing as a personality and as a business, it do me a lot of good.
So the time to yourself, you use it for something positive. Yeah, that's commendable, you see me? And to see you push out your thing like this now, and you have a positive twist on even the corona, because corona just negativity for certain people, and for majority of people, corona just negativity. But then I feel like go even expanding on what you say, corona can be viewed as a positive for me too, because the lessons where you get from being a rock bottom, when you're there at the top of the mountain, you hear your dog get them the lessons. So that's commendable, you see it. So talking about you brand yourself now, and you're pushing out your product to the place, and me can see your product and rate it and everything look good. Would you say you get a lot of support from locals, or majority of your support come from overseas?
Right now, I would say the ratio, I would say that the locals are giving me a little bit more support. I feel like that's also because of proximity, because Nevis is a small place, so you could, everywhere you go, you might see me, So when they see the artwork coming out now, people who close to me, they're gonna see the artwork and they share it with their family, and as I said, we're a small community, but we're close, so it's a nice thing. So recently, I think it was last year, I get an award for a youth award for the arts, and that even push the recognition I'm starting to get from the locals even more. So I would say that the locals starting to support me a lot more, and they're commissioning me a little bit more now, because I wouldn't say the award is what make me like credible, make me, they would say if I get the award, it makes me an artist. But it showed me up to a lot more people now. It opened a lot of windows now, because
so it bring a lot of exposure to you.
Yeah, a lot of exposure come true.
So after you get this award and you start get some commission now, so before the award, people when people come to you, them used to come to you and are willing to pay, like
often. A little bit too often. But the thing is, I wouldn't say, honestly, I don't even know how to put it. I like to give everybody what's the word? Leave room for doubt for people. So I don't want to assume and say that they don't want to pay. Everybody got different situations, but I don't feel like some people were confident in me. They were confident in the skills, because you got established artists like Van Anston, and he put out the work, and I really didn't put out much painting work early last year yet, so I feel like people might not have been confident in my work, so maybe they wouldn't be as willing to pay, But now I start to push out more and more and more, and then I still get this award as I mentioned.
So that bring more credibility to the team.
Yeah.
All right. You see, you touch on some important point to me now, because you acknowledge the fact that you were at this point last year, and then when you get the award and you get more credibility to your thing, your things start go up. I feel like a lot of youngsters, them have a product working on, and them want the end result. While you're there stage 1, and you want the result from stage 12. You see me? So you as an artist acknowledging the fact that you were at that stage, and you get the support for the arts at that stage that you was. You see me? That's commendable. You see me? Because enough man out there do things, even artists. You see me? Artists where it's not that them are a good artist, It's not that they don't have the potential to be a good artist, You see me? It's just that them not there at the level yet. Where them forget paid for do it. You get what I say? While it costs for you to run yourself as your brand and to go out there, you pay gas, you drink, you eat, and you support yourself same way to get everything up. You see me? But at the end of the day, sticking to the process is more important, you see me? And you can't enough man a look on money and yo people now support me and locals don't support. It's not that they're not supporting a fam. A lot of the times it's just that the product not reach at the level where it's there. And even if it reach at the level, you not have the recognition. You see me? And that's why even the biggest company them do what you call it, advertisements, you know. To keep up that brand recognition there, you know. You see me? Because the image is important. You see me? And more the youth them where I listen this to understand what I say. Enough time even on Facebook, me see people are rant about support and locals not supporting. But at the end of the day, the Chinese them store full because them have a format and them established. You see me? And it took a time for them to establish themselves. You understand? So you can try jump the line. You see me? So continuing on in the topic now, me see you have on a shirt here. Is the shirt your shirt?
Yeah, this is my brand now starting up, but I ain't push it out yet for sale. I'm still working on it and tweaking different things. But basically, this is a representation of my entire life and my entire career as an artist. Words mark, practice makes progress.
Practice makes progress. And you come up with them words there. You put them words together originally.
Yeah, I designed this digitally. So I had a lot of knockups of this design since 2020, since 2 years now. I had this design here, and as I said, this year I'm confident, but I still want to make sure it's the best thing I want to put out, So I had a lot of drafts and a lot of sketches and a lot of different ideas, all kind of different designs and what's not. But I reached to the level where I could print it out and have it. So sooner or later we're gonna have this shirt available for other people. But
so you intend to sell them shirt or to give them away in bundles?
You could do some giveaways and selling them, of course, because costs.
You don't know. Everything come with a cost, and I understand the business behind that still.
But as I said, the it's not really about the sales still. The shirt has a message, you check. So
cool.
Since as I tell you, I was starting from young, so I wouldn't reach to this level because I dream of this when I was younger,
Yeah.
Dream of this.
Yeah.
So when I reached to this level now, I had to look back and realize that okay, I had to actually practice. I had to fail and I had to stress and I had to be frustrated over this thing to actually improve and get better and finally be proud of this.
Yeah, man. Because you see in any success story, success is not necessarily where you get in the end, Success is the journey. In my opinion, success is the journey where you depend. So the failure bring the triumph. So if you never fail, you wouldn't know what it feel like to really triumph over whatever, isn't it? Or you not know what it's like to win if you never lose. Is it? So go on do your thing, you because I see a talent in a way I do, and want the people them to recognize and appreciate DavienTheArtist because the man well talented, isn't it? So tell the people them what they can find in my G.
You can find me on Instagram, same name, DavienTheArtist. That's DAVIEN, the artist. Working on a YouTube thing right now. I got some really crazy ideas for YouTube videos because besides the artwork itself, I find beauty in videography as well.
Yeah.
And bringing these things to life, because this image, although it has a lot of meaning, it's still a picture.
Yeah.
If I could bring a video to this and make this thing pop in, then it's gonna be even crazier and more creative than that, So Instagram, YouTube, working on that right now. So it's a work in progress. And I'm on Facebook as well. And I'm working on Twitter as well. But Instagram so for sure.
About TikTok
too, yeah.
TikTok are the young people thing.
Yeah, TikTok around things.
Around the place.
I got a couple of videos on TikTok too. Same name, DavienTheArtist. I got a couple of videos there and little time lapse and skit and that kind of things there.
Don't know. People, remember to like the video. Comment, leave a comment. Show the artist some love. Because love is needed. Is it? And remember, tell a friend to tell a friend because Perspectives Media. We have all the quality content to come. Is it? So until next time, I'm out.